Welcome to Pro Talks, a student-led speaker series connecting working professionals with the next generation of filmmakers, writers, and creatives at LA Film School. Brought to you by the Honor Society of Entertainment Arts, each session explores the real-world side of industry, from funding and distribution to creative development, career navigation, and beyond. Your hosts, Dan Lorenzo Leonard and Dr. A.Y. Heath, bring curiosity and passion to every conversation where honesty meets opportunity. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, these talks are about access, collaboration, and building bridges between student voices and industry leaders. We welcome you to the program and are honored to introduce this episode's guest speaker.
Thank you, Angel. Today's guest is Diana Dalke, filmmaker, producer, and co-owner of Nova Vento Entertainment. With hands-on experience across indie projects and a growing focus on grant writing and early-stage funding, Diana helps creatives turn ideas into action. If you're ready to move your project from script to set, this conversation is for you.
I've been in the film industry for a few years now. I work in production and distribution, and I've worked on commercials, short films, and feature films.
That's exciting. And you are a mistress, we'll say mistress, of finding creative ways of getting the government to fund projects. And I think that's why everybody's here, though we all are excited to meet you and we think you're absolutely amazing. I think everybody's here to get that free money. I could be mistaken. Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we're here because Diana actually has a stand-up routine. Just go right ahead with that stand-up routine, Diana.
Welcome to the Dan and Angel show.
Good, our guest is Diana. Yes, we're all here to get money to do our short films. Absolutely.
Yes, show me the money.
That's it. Did you happen to have that PowerPoint?
I do. Let me see if I can share with you.
And congratulations on your master's. Excellent.
Thank you.
Education always good.
Yes.
Before we get into the PowerPoint, because we do have a little glitch here and we may have to come back. But so before we get to the PowerPoint, I just wanted to ask you if you could just spend a couple of minutes explaining why this is such a passion thing for you, because you're passionate about this, right?
I am. I'm very passionate about this. I love the film industry. It has been a blessing in my life. And so I want people to be able to tell their stories and get their creativity out there. Everybody has something unique to bring to the film industry, whether you enjoy Westerns, horror, comedy. One thing I love about independent is that it's all original. We're not remaking Halloween and Scream. Don't get me wrong. I love those movies. I really do. But as independents, we get to bring something new and something fresh and unique to the genres that we love. And that's what I want to be able to tell, is that everybody can do that. Everybody can get free money from the government to make their films, whether you want to do a short film or a feature film.
That's really awesome. And I think what I love about that is the energy of making it available for everyone. Right?
Yes.
Making it available for anyone that wants to tell a story. And it doesn't get any more everyone than what you see right here in front of you, and how we all seem to be sitting at an impasse. Like, how do we break into the industry? And it feels like the biggest piece is having funds to make your film.
Yes, absolutely. The financial aspect of the film industry, unfortunately, is where a lot of people get stopped. They've got this idea, they've got this crew, their friends, their family that want to help, but where does the funding come from? And so, yes, there are free government programs out there that will help you. Most states, if not all of them, have a tax incentive grant that you can apply for. Montana has the Big Sky Film Grant, which is an amazing grant that has helped a lot of people in and out of state come to Montana and film.
Hold on a second. Wait. Let me just take a step back. I don't know if you heard that, Dan. That's crazy. So there are states out there that they will pay you basically to come to their state, create projects to film and employ people that live there. So basically, your film doesn't really cost you anything if you just go to that state and film.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
with the Big Sky Film Grant, you can apply for short or feature film. Out of state people are more than welcome to apply. I've worked with several. I'm currently working with a couple gals from LA. They're a lot of fun. But yes, our tax incentive, they will give you money to come shoot here. You have to hire 50% crew of local Montanans, which is easy to do. And then, yeah, you just come to Montana, our beautiful, beautiful state, and you make a good movie and you have fun and you get to meet new people.
Oh,
Wow, that is
So,
amazing that they do that. And is the process uh unrealistic, or is it just a lot of people apply, and as long as like how does the process go, and how many people do end up applying and getting it?
so the process starts at midnight. It is very competitive. However, our tax incentive did just increase so that things like 1923 isn't coming in and taking up all our incentives. So there is a special section dedicated just for independent filmmakers.
oh my God.
And so, yes, so a lot of people do apply, and it's an amazing program, and a lot of people get help from our state to come here and film.
So is it like they get hundreds of applications and they just decide which they like the best or which they feel should get the money? It's pretty simple as that?
Pretty much, yeah. They go through their screening process through the film commission office, and then they let everybody know. I've known quite a few people that have received a film grant from the state of Montana.
Wow, that's
Wow.
you could see the chat. Everybody's like, I'm coming to Montana. Here, everybody coming to Montana now. But there are lots of states that have these incentives, maybe not
Oh,
as.
absolutely.
How do you find out what states are offering these types of things, Diana?
So most of the time, the states through their commission's office, usually their government page, like say you wanted to go to North Carolina, you can go to northcarolina.gov and it'll pull it up. I did a quick search earlier of the states that offer tax incentives, and there is actually quite a few of them, a lot more than I knew about.
Oh wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. That brings me to another question then. I have applied for grants before, and they are not easy to apply for. The government does not make it easy to access government money. Sitting down and filling out a grant application is like giving birth to me. It takes a lot and you really have to want it. And sometimes you don't do it right. If you don't do it right, they kick it back and it's too late, too bad for you. Do you offer support for people who are going through the process where you can help them through the process of applying for grants?
I do actually. I just put my email in the chat for anybody that wants to email me, reach out, questions. You want help writing a grant, you want to get started on writing, you don't know where to start because there are a lot, and I mean a lot of programs out there that are not legitimate and they just want to take your money. And that is one thing I tell people. Any grant you apply for will not ask you for an application fee. They will not ask you to send them money for any reason at all. And if they do ask you for money or anything like that, then they're not a legitimate company.
Mm, so true. So true. And so it's like if you go to a website that says www.governmentgrants.com, that is not a government grant.
No.
So that's amazing. And so just for clarification, for those who don't know, you don't pay grant money back
No, grant money is
for the grant.
free money from the government. And you can get grant money for not only films, but for going back to school, for starting an agricultural business, for starting a small business at home where you make candles and sell them. You can literally get a grant for everything. And a lot of people don't realize that. Yes, it's a lot of work to put into it, but it's out there. And a lot of you can access it. I've accessed it.
Wow. So Dan,
Yes.
so if Dan wanted to create a film, and I'm going to say this because this is supposed to be a free form for everyone. I want everybody to have all the information they can. That's why we're here. Somebody like me, I'm former military. I'm of a certain age, which we won't talk about. And I might have some other things going on in my life where there's grants out there. You know, I'm in certain ethnic groups and all that kind of stuff. What if Dan wants a grant?
Yeah, let's say I reach out to you. I heard about you, Diana, from this lady Angel, that I can get grants to make my movie. Can you tell me about it? Is it possible?
Absolutely possible. So the first thing I usually would ask somebody is, are you specific on where you want to shoot? Are you set on being in California? Are you set in being in North Carolina? Are you open to looking at Montana or Texas?
100%. Whoever gives me money, I will fix the script to shoot there.
So then from there we look at each state. Like, is it plausible for you to travel to Montana? Is it plausible for you to travel to New York, for example? Because they have a really good one as well. So then we look at those things. So then we get down and say, we want to stay in the upper regions of the Northwest of the United States. So then we look at Oregon and Idaho and Montana and California and see what grants are available. And then you apply for them all.
Alrighty. Could you like take us through the process? Like, so you go, like, I live in Arizona. So first, what would be step one?
So step one, we find which region of the United States you want to shoot in. If you're
So
not too picky, then
if
we
okay, if I say, can we see if we could shoot where I live in Arizona?
perfect. Then we'll
Awesome.
start looking through Arizona. I'll start doing some research. We go to the government pages first, arizona.gov, things like that. Start seeing where we can. So then we don't find anything, for example, if we don't, then we can start looking around. Utah has a really great one. Wyoming's got a very impressive one. So then you can start looking around those. If those can be plausible or you can switch your script up a little bit, then we apply for all those. Then you apply for the ones in Montana. Then you can apply for the ones in Oregon. Then you can apply for the ones in North Dakota. And then you apply for 12 grants. You might get two or three of them. Then you can decide from there, okay, I'm getting the best tax incentive from my home state, so I might as well stay here. But you might find that Oregon's tax incentive might be better suited to your needs. They might give you more money. Some of them will also let you combine them, if that makes sense. So if you're going to shoot in Oregon, but you got one from the state of Arizona, you can also contact them and say, okay, what if I do part of my film in Oregon and part of my film in Arizona? Well, then you've got two grants to do your film. Yes, you're in two different states, but you can do that.
Got
And
it.
then you start looking at other grants that aren't applied to directly to your state, but government grants for feature films, short films, documentaries, commercials. I did find a couple the other day to do music videos.
Now, when you say these, uh, like it seems like so you're talking crazy almost. You know what I mean? Can you like give me reality? Can you like show us like if we share it, you go on the website and show us where it says like take us through it?
Let
Yeah,
me see if I
you can
can.
share. And for those of you who have questions, please do keep putting your questions in. We are not going to do Q&A during the presentation. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat and we'll ask your questions as we're going through the process. Let me make sure she can share. Can you share? You should be able to.
I should be able to, yes.
While she's doing that, I'm going to go through some of the questions that are here. Somebody asked, does grant money count as income? Is there tax on it? That I can answer for you, having come from the tax industry. Grant money is free money. It is considered free from the government, so they do not tax you for that. That's why it's grant money. And for services go, I'm gonna let her speak to that when we're all done. Let me see what other questions we have here. Does grant money work the same for music? Do you want to answer that, Diane, while you're working on that?
So it works the same. You can log in, you can go onto each state site as well as government sites, and it will allow you to apply for different grants to do music videos and which takes you, post production all the way through distribution necessarily for there we go for the music video.
Any other questions in there? I think I got the last one.
If I can share.
I will share. I will have a follow-up to make sure we get all her information out. So just if you missed it, don't worry about it. We'll get you. Do you need a script which is completed before applying for a grant? You don't need a script that's completed before applying for anything. Just so you know. As long as you have your
Okay. So can you guys all see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the production application for the media tax credit for Montana. And right now it has closed. But basically, where it just says apply with the Montana Secretary of State, you apply here. And then it'll go down and it'll give you a list of forms, all the forms. So can list your business and everything like that. I might not pop it up since it is closed. It's not going to. So yeah, it is not going to pop it up because it is closed. But let's see if it'll. Yeah, the applications are closed. But basically, it's an application just like any other application, a job application. You go through and you fill it all out. One thing they are going to ask you in there, and this is where a lot of people, especially from out of state, get hung up, is if you are already working with somebody in Montana. If you are already working with somebody in Montana, have an associate, something here, it makes it easier because then they know that you're going to already have somebody here in Montana. Most people here in Montana in the film industry know that you have to have, 50% of your cast and crew have to be Montana residents, things like that. So it kind of just helps that process along a little bit because they already know you're working with somebody in this area that knows the ins and outs.
Well, that's pretty remarkable.
That is
So,
really cool.
so it's all application and then you're a pretty hard worker. There's lots of different grants besides the main one that you can get for the filmmaker or apply to.
Yes, absolutely.
And one of the main questions that someone just put in the chat a little while ago is, what do you get out of this? Is this just you love filmmaker so much, or?
Yeah, I do. I sometimes, for the most part, charge for services depending on what we're doing,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they're doing a feature, a 80-minute feature, what would the fees be for that?
Usually it's around 50 an hour for grant writing. However, with the tax incentives, like say you got one for here in Montana, then I would just get to be part of the production crew when you came to Montana to film.
Got it.
So it depends on the project, depends on the person, depends on what we're doing. Like I said, I like to have everybody's stories heard and told. So
Yeah, and I guess it's fair to say, Diana, that if somebody's interested, rather than putting it on blast because it is different for everybody, to have that person have a conversation with you and
yes, absolutely.
work itself out.
Yeah, and I did put my email in the chat. Anybody can feel free to email me. You can follow me on social media under Diana Dalke. Feel free to send me a friend's request, anything.
And before the filmmaker starts this process with you, is there anything important that you've noticed they should really have first? Like they need an LLC or or if the script has to be finished, or anything important that you know would be beneficial for them?
So when, for example, when applying for the Big Sky Film Grant, they don't request a script immediately, but they do want a logline and synopsis. I do know that they do like to push more for features versus shorts, but they do both. Excuse me. And then I just like to see where they want to end up. Are they going to be in festivals? Do you want to four wall it in theaters? You want to take it international? You want to put it on Amazon Prime or Apple TV? I just like, I don't know. I like to kind of feel what everybody's wanting to get out of it because everybody wants something different.
It's interesting that you say that because I think that's the perfect segue to the next part of the discussion. But before we do that, there are a couple of more questions I want to make sure that we get to. One is from Roy. He says, should a project be formally incorporated or at least set up as an LLC before seeking grants or funding?
No, it doesn't have to be. However, if you do have, say, an LLC, C Corp, nonprofit, that opens up a lot more grant opportunities for yourself, for your business, and for filming through hubzone.com. They are a wonderful place to work with. And they are one of those types of places that if you make a mistake or you didn't do it right, they'll kick it back to you, but they'll also give you the opportunity to call somebody and have them you through it, which is wonderful. So they are a really great company to work with. So yeah, if you have like I have Diana Lee LLC, real original, my middle name, but I can get on there and apply for different grants. I live in a rural area in Montana. I'm a woman only owned company. It breaks it down for Native Americans, for veterans as well.
Well, Diana, can you
Would,
repeat that company for everybody? A bunch of people missed it. If you could repeat.
yeah, if you could put it in the
Sure.
chat.
Hubzone.com.
And that's HUBZONE.
Yep.
All right, perfect. And then another person asked, with this process, what would the process look like for animators in this?
Actually, it's the same process, same thing. I just actually screened a stop animation film last week for distribution, so that was pretty fun. And so yeah, no, the grants still apply. It doesn't matter what you are making, what genre you are in, there are grants for you. I mean, if you're doing a documentary, there's grants.
Perfect.
And if we get a grant from any of the states, does that help them get into film festivals in that state as well, or no?
It doesn't necessarily hurt. I mean, obviously it's not going to give you a leg up, but it will definitely help. Like, hey, this was filmed in Montana, so let's put this in all of these Montana film festivals. I have a whole list of film festivals here in Montana that we use quite often. So it does definitely help, get your foot in that door for film festivals. We actually have one in my hometown.